name is Marina Bayduk, and I'm the President and Executive Director of United Help Ukraine. As many of you know, our organization is celebrating our 10th anniversary this year in 2024. We started back in 2014, and of course, in the past years, we've had many different projects and programs. A lot of things have changed for our organization. As we know, it also has changed for many Ukrainians and Ukrainian American organizations, but it really changed a lot of lives. And people who will be talking today, Yakov Gradinar, I will introduce in a minute. And I don't know if Yuri Yeroshidze is with us, but also Anna Yablochanska, people who work in the medical field and specifically in the field of prosthetics. This is something that we know Ukraine, unfortunately, will be leading the effort to supply and rehabilitate and help with prosthetics so many wounded. And we also are very happy to have one of the patients of Yakov's clinic, Protez Foundation, and a person who we rehabilitated and helped with prosthetics. Vitaly Dugin is with us. He's here next to Yakov. So I will just say a few more words about this program, and then I will give it to Anna Yablochanska, who is a medical director, program director for United Help Ukraine. She is a doctor trained in Kharkiv, and she's now leading United Help Ukraine's efforts to support hospitals, to provide psychological assistance, but importantly also to provide prosthetics and rehabilitation to Ukrainian wounded warriors. So I'm going to turn the table now to our speakers for today, and I would like to introduce first Anna Yablochanska, Dr. Anna Yablochanska. She is an MD from Kharkiv, and she's leading medical aid program at United Help Ukraine. And then I will pass the torch to Yakov Gradinar, who we just had a quick conversation before this meeting that last time I saw Yakov when Yakov and I were receiving the awards from President Zelensky back in September 2023. And Yakov was also one of the people who Ukrainian government acknowledged with the medal. So Yakov has been leading the field of prosthetics in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And with Yakov here today is Vitaly Dugin, who is one of the patients that Yakov is helping, and our organization is supporting from the beginning, rehabilitating and prosthetics. And there are more good news that Yakov will share with you in just a minute.
Hello, everyone. Pleasure to see you all today. Greetings from Kyiv. As Marina said, one of the outcomes of this war is a blackout. So we are currently experiencing power outage. So if internet goes out, I'm really sorry for that. But we'll try to do our best to stay stable with this connection. I'm a medical doctor by training, as Marina said, and also I have a background in I have a master's in public health from US Emory University, and I'm with United Help Ukraine since the full-scale invasion started in the beginning of March of 2022. And I was very honored to lead the medical aid program with United Help Ukraine since that time. And we are currently having several projects within the program that we are really thinking that they are all very important, and we need to work on them and continue on them because unfortunately war is far from end, and medical aid assistance is very, very in need right now. Marina, can you please? Okay. So as we all know that war is going, and today Ukraine experiencing having absolutely unprecedented number of wounded patients, unfortunately. And there is no official statistics, but according to Wall Street Journal, in August 2023, Ukraine already had about 50,000 amputees. So we can expect that the number will grow tremendously because we know that the type of war, we see the number of the mining of the lands and everything, it leads to such types of wounds. and about half of the wounded patients, unfortunately, will be able to go back to the military service because the type and complication of the wounds. Taking into consideration the scale of the invasion and the number of people involved, and especially taking into consideration that most of people who started fighting for Ukraine were never military in their background. They were civilian people who left their homes and just left to fight. That they were unprepared in terms of knowledge, in terms of equipment. United Help Ukraine jumped in immediately in support of such of the defenders. So we were doing a lot of stuff for defenders aid, but in terms of medical aid, we started working with our soldiers from the tactical medicine, providing all TACMED supplies, and we are running a school for tactical medicine, which provides training starting from the ASM, all service members trainings for the soldiers who can help themselves if they get wounds, to advanced paramedic trainings who can evacuate patients from the field using high-scale equipment and providing high-scale help medical assistance. We also we understand that after patients are being evacuated from the field, they get to the hospital, so they need support over there. So we are supporting hospitals with medical supplies and equipment. Now we also started providing medications as well. So we having over 150 civilians hospitals in our list, and also we are working through the commandment of the Ukrainian army and supplying military hospitals through our chain of distribution, providing everything they need as in a timely manner. So patients who get to the hospitals get as best help and aid as they can within the hospital. Also, taking into consideration that many towns and cities are being shelled with by Russian army, and many hospitals are experiencing a lot of patients coming at the same time. We are running the project for mass casualty preparedness plan in Ukraine. Currently, over 33 hospitals involved in this project. So we are training medical personnel and hospital management on many stuff, starting from the triaging of the patients to hospital management. So that includes all levels and steps that will allow us to, and hospitals, to provide all needed medical care. So patients that survival of the patients will grow, and this is a very critical point in Ukraine now, because we see such events happening more and more across along the front lines and also across all over Ukraine. So this is something we are thinking to expand and probably also involve additional resources and approach. Also, within this project, we are seeing that the burnouts of medical personnel across the board, the front lines, is very critical. So we are also working with the psychological support for the medical personnel, because if we will be lacking of the anesthesiologists or surgeons within the hospitals, these hospitals can be closed, and the wounded patients won't be able to get all services they need immediately. And the next step of the patient going through the treatment schedule is a rehabilitation. So patients being saved on the field, evacuated on a timely manner, treated in the hospital, and then they need to go back to normal life. And this is a process we are focusing on now. We are looking at the rehabilitation as a comprehensive project, because we understand that rehabilitation should start as soon as patients wakes up after the surgery. So we are working on acute care. We started working on inpatient rehabilitation, physical therapy. We are working on providing mental health support, and now we are moving towards advanced rehabilitation, community reintegration, and long-term care. So the early rehabilitation or acute rehabilitation, this is something that is very critical in Ukraine today. Why we were started thinking about that and working on this, because accepting patients for prosthetics here in the US and providing them all services within this process, we face a situation that patients already come with certain complications, such as like contractures in their articulations or the myasthenia in their muscles. So conditions that need additional time to recover them, and conditions that will postpone the start of the prosthetics. And we understand the sooner the prosthetic starts, the better outcome should be. So the best way is to prepare patient for prosthetics as soon as possible. And it includes both and physical rehabilitation and mental health support. So our goal was a timely and targeted care. So we start working immediately. It's boost survival because patients get less complications, and reduce morbidity in longer term outcomes, because the sooner you start physical activity, the better outcome will be. So we already see that we prevent secondary complications, we enhanced recovery with those patients involved in the project. The mental health condition was much better, and the time for hospital treatment was much less reduced, which is very important, taking into consideration the hospital infection and other complications. So what we started doing, how it looks like. So we started working with one of the hospitals in Kyiv. This was a civilian hospital by its legislation, but currently a lot of civilian hospitals accept wounded patients, military wounded patients, because not military hospitals are not, they don't have enough space to accept the number of patients of wounded we received from the fields. So we started working with one hospital located in Kyiv, which started in October last year, and we launched a pilot project involving 40 patients. We started working with the bed-bounded patients. It was not the very acute in terms of like not ER yet, but it was already still in patients who were not verticalized yet. So we were starting doing physical activities. This was a multidisciplinary approach. So because we involved physicians, we involved traumatologists and other medical specialties who checked the type of interventions that patients could go through. Please go to next slide, please. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we were focusing on physical activities. We increased mobility, strength, and flexibility of the joints. Additional to that, we started CrossFit sessions, and patients who were cleared for the swimming pools started swimming within this project. Also, additional to that, we were providing patients with additional skills trainings like IT skills, English language lessons. We went with the patient through the preparing CVs and so on, so they will be ready to start new jobs in their new life. Go, please. Those patients who were cleared for the swimming, were joining the swim team. We had 40 patients within this project, 24 training sessions for each of them. And after very end of these sessions, we had a competition for the swimming. So this is the picture from that competition. Additional to that, those patients who were also cleared by doctors. So we tried to make some fun in their life, and we took them to the flying in the aerodynamic tube, so they can experience their new body with new that their new body is still active, full of energy and life, so they can continue their normal life disregarding whatever. And the next slide is actually a case study about a person who is also with us today. So this is a person who started working with us on the with the CrossFit and swimming. And I think, Yakov, you will be able, right, to introduce Vitaly later on. He is here, Vitaly, hello. And so the person, this Vitaly, he was brought to the United States for prosthetics and successfully undergone this process. Thank you. Okay, so what we see as a result of the project right now, so we see that the time to recovery decreased for this patient. So they had been less hospitalized. We are having less complications. Patients who being involved in the project were start working as a peer support for other patients within the hospital. And this was absolutely amazing and unexpected effect. When you start working with one patient, he invites his peer who is staying in the same room, and then they start inviting other people who are on the same floor. And starting from one patient, the team grew to 40 without any pressure from our side. It just was a peer support from themselves. And this is something very incredible. And due to this, we saw that psycho-emotional condition of these people got much better. Now I'm in Kiev, as I said, and I'm continued to work with different hospitals and going through one hospital to another, and try to figure out what is the largest lack and what is missing here. So what we definitely missing in Ukraine is a professionals. So we see that people, we don't have enough rehabilitologists and prothezists here. So something that United Help Ukraine is focusing its efforts now within the Reboot Rehabilitation Project is training of the medical personnel from nurses to doctors and to rehabilitologists. And we are doing this through many different ways. So we are conducting webinars and training sessions as of now. We are also thinking about starting training sessions offline here in Kyiv, so we can train professionals who will be working across different hospitals in Ukraine. And we see that this is the best way to create a sustainable rehabilitation for our wounded patients. So far, we already conducted trainings on pain management for amputees. We had very effective training for severe brain injury. Now in June, we are running several conferences and and seminars on PTSD, as June is a global PTSD awareness month, and one of the conferences will be running tomorrow. So we are training physicians and we're training psychologists on PTSD. Also, we are working on physical therapy for the training sessions. So what we also understand is that every hospital today in Ukraine is trying to establish a rehabilitation department. But what is missing is we are missing the protocols especially for acute rehabilitation. And this is something United Help Ukraine is going be like very actively involved in preparing these documentations. We see that systemic implementation is something that has to be implemented, that patient also has possibility to go like not missing steps in rehabilitation. This is very important. It's systemic and it provides full-scale rehabilitation. We are going to scale up to more hospitals across Ukraine. Also, we are setting up very strong collaborations with medical institutions because, as we said, trainings and of the professionals is what's missing, and we need to start training from the while they are preparing for this profession. And also we are working with a continuous medical education, so those who already being on the field have access to new knowledge and new trainings. Thank you. So this is a lot of to be done, and we always looking for any insights and supports, and we would very much appreciate any feedback and ideas that could help us to implement the effective and sustainable rehabilitation process in Ukraine. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Anna. I'm going to stop sharing. It was a great and a very comprehensive description of our programs. And I just want to turn into a chat real quick. There are some questions here. One of them is, does UHU and Protez work with the applied physics lab at the Johns Hopkins University? Here's the link to revolutionizing prosthetics. So that's a question to both Anna and Yakov. I don't know, Yakov, if you're working with them, you can address it later. Okay. So then we also have a professional acquaintance at Hopkins. No one else is closer to them. Maybe, okay, so maybe that's the same conversation going on. So if you were interested in talking to professionals at Johns Hopkins University, there are people who can definitely help you out with this. Yes,
I would answer that we didn't work with Johns Hopkins yet. We were trying to reach out to them. We were very effective collaboration with Florida University. And we definitely would like to reach out to Johns Hopkins as well. So if there could be any, if you could put us in communication, this will be very much appreciated.
Great. All right, terrific. Thank you very much for all the questions and comments in the chat. Keep questioning, keep posting your comments. Anya, thank you so much for your presentation. And now we're honored to have Yakov Gradinar here with us, and together with Vitaly Dugin. And they're again in the car stuck at the border. So we will be sharing Yakov's presentation. Yakov is a co-founder and the director of Protez Foundation. It's an incredible organization who is the organization that is rehabilitating and giving people ability to walk and function again. Yakov will say a few words about how many patients you've had since the full-scale invasion, where this Protez Foundation was first founded by Yakov. And we were supposed to have Yuri Yaroshidze with us, but I guess he is busy today, unfortunately. But he's those two people, and I met Yura in Ukraine, in Kiev, and visited the center that was just opened in Kiev back in April of this year. And United Help Ukraine is also honored, and we're honored that we were partners with Protez Foundation on opening the center and provided equipment that will be supplying prosthetics and helping manufacture prosthetics at the center. And I don't know if you have, I hope you have those images of Kiev Center in your presentation, but I just want to share my first impression when I just walked in. It was still under construction. There was just bare walls and there were nothing there. And Yura was saying that, oh, we're going to be opening in about 2-3 weeks. I'm like, that's impossible. You don't even have anything inside. He's like, nope, we're working around the clock. We really want to have it. And the best part about it is that this is this is the main square in Kiev, main street in Kiev. It's right on Khreshchatyk with wall-to-wall, two-story high windows. So people who will be receiving rehabilitation can, and then you have the training equipment right there by the window, so they can see people outside, and people who are walking by can see and wave to those who are getting rehabilitation at the center. Congratulations on all your work and all your achievements, Yakov. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you started this clinic in Minneapolis. I know you had some hurdles, but now this is a great initiative that brings, I believe, 10 to 15 at least amputees to the US for rehabilitation a month. So please, Yakov, the floor is yours. And whenever you need us to start sharing your presentation, let us know. Our assistant Lilia Novikova will help you with that.
Thank you so much, Marina, for introduction. Yes, it is super awesome when we unite together, and like your name is United Help for Ukraine. We definitely felt that when we were opening our clinic, and when you were running to issues and with money, you stepped up and helped us and supported, and we felt your shoulder next to us during that opening. And I really like saying that successful people during challenges, they get stronger and that get better. And that's what I feel Ukrainians do. And like Anna already mentioned, that definitely people burn out, but at the same time, we understand that we need to help those brave people who fought in front line. And Anna, thank you for sharing all that presentation and all what you do. And I seen multiple times Vitaly on some of pictures, and he's smiling, seeing how far he went. And definitely that is huge, that you supported him on the ground, then supported and bought parts for him, and we just fitted him. And we went even further, where Vitaly actually showed interest in prosthetics, and he's gonna join our Kiev clinic. So you provided rehabilitation, you provided parts, you provided equipment, and now he's gonna work on that equipment. So I would like to give him floor, and I will be translating for him so he can share what he experienced throughout this process and what that meant to him. Я би хотів, щоб ви розказали, і що для вас це значило під... От спочатку, як United Help допомогла вам, і як ви до нас попали, що для вас це значить, і як ви дивитеся на майбутнє.
Вітаю всіх.
Greetings to everybody.
Попав я в Protez Foundation за допомогою добрих людей.
I got to Protez Foundation through kind people.
То Євгенія Щербина дуже мені допомогла в цьому.
Evgenia Sherbina helped a lot.
Плюс Яків.
And Yakov.
Для мене це протезування дуже багато значить. Я прагну повернутися до більш-менш звичайного життя, наскільки це буде можливо, якось соціалізуватися.
This rehabilitation in prosthetics means a lot to me, because this will help me to get back to community and to get social again.
На майбутнє, є трохи планів зробити все можливе, щоб допомогти таким хлопцям, як я сам, які мають ампутацію, можливо, десь в фізичному плані, десь, можливо, в психологічному плані.
For my future plans, I would like to use this, what I have, to help those like me who lost their limbs and who struggling, so I can help them psychologically and physically, providing prosthetics.
Дякую.
Thank you. And I wanted to say that again, we are sorry for if our internet will be glitching, but we are literally inside the minivan, and we apologize for Yuri because he's running unaccustomed to get everything taken care of. So he apologizes for that. So I will start sharing screen, and let's see if that's gonna work.
Great, it works.
Is it working now?
Yes, it's working. Thank you.
Awesome. So one thing that before I move on, I would like to say to Mary Ann that she mentioned about prosthetics in Hopkins. Very interesting project already. When Anna was talking, I looked through it and it looks very amazing. I will love to as well to connect and see how we can collaborate with some difficult cases if that is possible. But I will share a little bit story, and main point for me to share this that we are not as strong as cool as United Health for Ukraine, because 2 years ago we still were in our kitchen and I was running private practice. But when war started, I was like, okay, you don't need to be very smart to put few things together. I'm Ukrainian and I know prosthetics, and Ukraine needs help with prosthetics. So we started to look what we can do, and our focus is mainly on rehabilitation and prosthetics, but all around prosthetics. So when we started, we put it few goals for ourselves to bring people to United States because Ukrainian system was overwhelmed, and give them psychological and mental support in United States, and show to United States that war is going on, and behind bombed buildings, there is people inside. And going through that, we started to see that more and more people are applying. Right now, we have 1,800 on our waiting list, and we helped only 250. But we are ramping up by opening 2 clinics in Ukraine. And go as it was stated by Anna before, that it is very, very big problem because it's 59,000. I believe it was as August of 2023. And with all offense that was done last year and this year, it can be close to 100,000. Again, it's my number. Don't quote me, but at the same time, seeing how much more people are applying and how much how great need is there. So when we started to not only provide care, but we started to look how we can connect to government and how we can do as much as possible to change Ukraine in government level, in educational level, and also in prosthetics. And parallel to that, a year ago, we opened Protez Academy, where we have a few contracts with U of M, University of Minnesota, Concordia University, Cates University, Century College, and we actually started to have agreement with Mayo Clinic, where our doctors and physical therapists who come on training, we have access. In on last group, we had access even to VA clinic as well, which is huge deal for us. So far we provided over 500,000 prosthetics and treated over 250 patients, because multiple of them, and Vitaly's example, he's missing both limbs very short above the knee, transfemoral. On top of that, we treated children, civilians, provided few surgeries, and over 80 specialists trained, and these are anesthesiologists, surgeons, mostly.
All right. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, I think we lost Yakov just for a second. Yakov, can you hear us? We just lost you for a little bit. Okay, great.
Yakov is on mute.
Yeah, Yakov, you're on mute.
Sorry about that.
Can we go back to the slide, please?
Yes, going.
Oh, Yakov, okay, great, thanks.
Now you can see it?
Yes, we can.
Probably a Wi-Fi jumping between Ukraine and Poland. So we opened clinic in 3M building in Minnesota, and where we have 7,000 square feet. And also we opened one in Svalyava and one in Kiev, as it was mentioned by Marina. And we are blessed in Kiev because we are in main square, and it draws a lot of attention because prosthetics in Ukraine is more driven, like you will see as a manufacturer place. How you will translate zavod? Like manufacture, right?
Factory.
Factory. So prosthetic factory, and which is kind of like old way approach. And imagine seeing clinic in main square where people can walk by and they can see that we have less than 5,000 square feet, and we have bottom floor is for lower extremity, upstairs is for upper extremity, and we were able to draw a lot of attention that can be more simpler, more accessible, and more open. So we don't put patients in the cells, and they are more as our customers who come, get served. They talk to each other while Yakov is dragging his feet and making prosthetics. So for us, is biggest challenge is that prosthetics are very expensive. For Vitaly, 2 prosthetics with microprocessor knees cost 45,000, and it's cheaper to make surgeries than to provide prosthetics. And you can see on this slide that how much would cost in a simple foot can cost 1,500 to 2,000 to 2,500. And with that being said, especially above the knee prosthetic are very expensive. But if you will look, travel and accommodation is minimal, but it's every penny of that is worth it because people have mental rehabilitation and they go back and they wanted to support you, continue supporting, and they are like literally one of first patient who came to us looked around and he said, this what I'm fighting in Ukraine, this what I wanted Ukraine to look like. So that gives great support for them and care that United States have for them. So they go back to own families in hospitals and communities, and they feel that support. So our patients are children, civilians. If you will look on the bottom left picture, there is a lady, she's a nurse from Uman. She was coming home and rocket just hit nearby and took her leg all the way to hip disarticulation. And it's very hard. If you look on a middle picture, younger Artyom, he was actually in Zhytomyr, and his dad was carrying him on his one hand and with other hand holding his other son, and they were running from own house that got in fire from rocket hitting it to neighbor's basement, so they find shelter, and second rocket hit behind them, killed dad, killed Artyom's brother who was 12 years old, and took Artyom left hand that was holding to his dad. And I like to say, we as the people alive need to restore that hand that was holding to dad. So in summary, we are looking for people, private supporters and foundations like United Help for Ukraine, who is great support for us. We can provide these prosthetics because they are so expensive. And I wanted to share a couple things with you. How to get out of here? Okay. So I would like to say that in this difficult time, we see that we can create that hope for those people who were fighting, who are missing their identity because they lost part of their body. And like it was mentioned by Anna, it's very hard on these people and takes a while to adapt. And sooner we start, then better and quicker they will recover, less PTSD from being on wheelchair and seeing world through different level of their life. So maybe I don't want to take more of your time. If you have any questions, or Marina, if you want to add something, maybe I'm missing something, please let me know.
So this is great, Yakov. Thank you so much. And I think there were a couple of just comments in the chat, not necessarily questions. So I just want to, Yakov, ask you maybe about your vision for a future of prosthetics in Ukraine. You are leading your organization here in the US, but you also are building those facilities in Ukraine, right? Because we know that it's not sustainable to bring people like Vitaly to the US. And we know that there is, of course, a huge psychological plus to be out of the country that is at war, not hearing the sirens every day, and people do rehabilitate psychologically as well. However, those are, one-by-one cases. If we're talking about 50,000 plus, and then you said 59, or I'm sure the numbers are much higher. The question is, what can we do, in your opinion? What is it that needs to be done in Ukraine to get this level to sustainable programs? And what's really, how can we work together to make sure that every single person who lost a limb can get a proper care in Ukraine, knowing this high number?
So on our end, like we are working at 3 levels. At government level, where that right now Ministry of Social Services is taking care of amputees, but it doesn't have experience with young, strong men who fought in frontline. They used to take care of just old grandma and grandpa, and nothing against them, but they are not active. And part that were provided, if it was even for them, was little. But we are working how to make it more streamlined and provide that care better and more accessible. Right now, one of the biggest challenge in Ukraine, that parts are costly, and Ministry of Social Services paying only 5% above cost of parts, where in United States, cost of parts is 30%, and 70% you have to pay rent, salary, and run your clinic. That is biggest challenge, and I think this lobbying to get more attention to prosthetics to government, which is very, very busy with war going on, but at the same time, we can lobby it to make sure that this is at government level is taken care of. Second is education, and we educating right now. I have next week 11 prosthetists taught how to use bionic knees in different one and how to program them. So we are working on multiple levels of education as well. And in the meantime, why we have these 2 clinics in Ukraine, that we can help and unload the system because it's super overwhelmed. So in these 3 directions, we see that it can be done. Right now in United States clinic, we have access to a lot of components and a lot of specialists difficult cases, like Vitaly is one of them, to make it successful and use our experience. So for United States, we are bringing only harder cases And in Ukraine, we are trying to lift it so they can be self-sufficient. And instead of providing them a fish, we try to provide fishing pool, which will get them sustained, because help for Ukraine is getting lower. And in 2-3 years, we are looking that it will be even lower. So we want to be ahead of this curve to make sure that it's taken care of.
Thank you, Yakov, so much. Anna, would you like to add anything to Yakov's statement in terms of what do we see future of prosthetics in Ukraine with working together as a nonprofit sector, how we can contribute to government's initiatives or maybe even advise them on what we've learned so far?
Thank you so much, Yakov, for your presentation. Yes, I absolutely agree with Yakov. To make sustainable, we need to train, teach, and teach more and more prothesists in Ukraine. And because we need to have the services close to places where people live, because this is something they don't need to travel across the country. So such sites should be all across the Ukraine. So for these purposes, training will allow to provide such services.
Yeah. Great, thank you. I don't have any questions. There were very comprehensive presentations and great remarks by Anna and Yakov in terms of where we are right now as in Ukraine and here in the US in terms of helping Ukrainian health system to deal with such a large number of people with amputations, but also like Anna presented, there are over 200,000 people with different types of wounds and traumas because of the war, both in civilian and also in Ukrainian defenders. So definitely there is a lot that's we can do together as a community, as a global community. And I'm very grateful for this amazing partnership with Protez Foundation. Thank you for coming and giving a great presentation, and also for all your work that you do. And Vitaly, дуже було приємно вас бачити сьогодні, і сподіваємося, що ми вас побачимо. Sorry, I had to switch to Ukrainian for Vitaly. Ми сподіваємося вас побачити і вашу роботу в Protez Foundation центрі. Будемо за вами спостерігати. Just wanted to thank Vitaly for his service, and it's great that Vitaly, who we help rehabilitate, is now joining Protez Foundation Center in Kyiv, Ukraine, and will be watching his successes and achievements as a worker there, so as an employee of Protez Foundation. So that's a great cycle that's now we see that is almost completed with Vitaly's reintegration and receiving a new profession, a new specialty. So this is really a great achievement of all our work to see such success cases. So if I'm going to check if there are any more questions. Anyone who would like to ask, please go ahead. Any questions? Great. Thank you all so much for your participation. You can visit unitedhelpukraine.org for more information. You can also visit Protez Foundation's website. They're all listed. You can find them on the web. Also, please follow our Facebook pages for both Protez Foundation and United Help Ukraine. All of us are, both our organizations are also 501c3. You can make donations directly. We work closely together. Just wanted to share one of the pictures of, and I want to introduce our manager of this program, Lena Bulgakova. Lena, can we see you real quick? Do you want to say a few words about yourself and your involvement and how you find Protez Foundation Center in Minneapolis, and how this collaboration is fruitful for both organizations?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Lena Bulgakova, and I am a co-manager of the Wounded Warriors project, and it was really great. We had the opportunity to visit the Protez Foundation. Thank you so much, Yakov. Thank you so much, Yuri and Vitaly, to show us your center. You're doing an amazing job, and it's really, really was nice to see you and to meet you. So thank you.
Thank you, Lena, so much. Lena Bulgakova and also Regina Vasko, two co-managers of Wounded Warrior project that is under a medical aid umbrella. And you see here Yakov and Yuri at the Protez Foundation Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So with this, I just want to again say that you can visit our websites for more information. Please stay tuned for our next webinar, which is coming in about a month. We'll send more information about that. Also, I just want to remind you, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary with two galas, one in Washington, D.C., and another one in New York. In September. So it's going to be September 14th in New York and September 28th in Washington, D.C. You're all welcome to attend. All information is also on UnitedHelpUkraine.org, our website. You will probably find it as well in your emails. Please subscribe to our newsletter if you're not yet subscribed. Again, great, in a lot of information, and we always welcome our partner to share their successes, their accomplishments, and we're very grateful to Yakov and Yuri for all the work that you do to help Ukrainian wounded warriors with prosthetics and rehabilitation. And now we can see even integration and providing them with the job. So this is amazing. Yakov, very inspiring story of yours, and Yura unfortunately wasn't here, but his story is as much inspiring to me. He's done so much welcoming Ukrainian wounded to his house, and that's, I remember how you guys met, I believe, right? So then one of the delegation that came to Minneapolis was actually through Yakov, but it was that delegation of wounded was helped by Yuri, and this is how this very fruitful partnership started. And again, seeing this amazing achievements, 3 centers in just 2 years, that's terrific. And again, thank you all for supporting Unite Help Ukraine, and everyone who is here. I know your love for Ukraine. We're going to continue supporting through all organizations who are doing an amazing work on the ground. So thank you, a huge thank you to our speakers for today, Anna Yabluchanska and Yakov Gradinar. Thank you all for participating, and I hope to see you at our next webinar. Please stay tuned, visit our websites, donate, support Ukraine in many ways you can. Thank you all so much, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.